right. Put the torch to the nail and let's get hella high. The dab life, you damn right. Put the torch to the nail and let's get hella high. The dab life, you damn right. Put the torch to the nail and let's get hella high. The dab life, you damn right. Put the torch to the nail and let's get hella high. I can't concentrate, I'm off concentrates. I can't concentrate, I'm off concentrates. I can't concentrate, I'm off concentrates. I can't concentrate, I'm off concentrates.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, episode 3. I'm your host, John Dawson. As we start to fine-tune this in, we got Raul, man.
Raul.
Yeah, this is Kung Fu Vapes Raul. Every podcast might be a special superstar or it might just be the squad talking about what we need to talk about. And today is going to be, oh, look, it's just kicking cameras. Shit's getting shaky. The man's going crazy. I think we're just going to take some dabs and just fucking talk about some current events. I just read that Minnesota looks like they signed in the adult use cannabis bill.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
It's not recreational out there yet?
No.
Medical?
No, I think they've had medical for a while, but there's no dispensaries that I was aware of that you could just walk in and buy anything 21 and over to just get high. So shout out to Minnesota, man, for making it happen. Yeah, baby.
Don't have to stay too cold out there now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be coming to Minnesota more frequently now that I know that there's hash rosin opportunities, I guess.
Hopefully it's good hash.
And good weed and good people.
Touche.
You know? There's always good beer and good food. Shout out to the fine people of Minnesota. I got a chance to go to a Super Bowl there a couple years ago.
What Super Bowl?
I want to say 3 years ago. So I don't remember offhand what teams it was exactly. We got pretty faded. Had a great time. It was fucking cold as hell. The stadium was brand new, downtown Minnesota.
That was in
Minneapolis.
the stadium,
Yeah, it was dope. I went with some buddies from Oregon. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to Wolverine. Dabs' squad is really what it was. He wasn't there, but I was. And yeah, it was, man, the Super Bowl. It was a fucking event.
Damn.
You know, we were in the nosebleeds and fucking weren't too close to the action, but
Still electric, though. You can still feel the energy.
Absolutely. And I snuck some vapes in with us. I think someone brought a blunt in with them. We had a time. It was a time.
People do that.
Drinking beer. Speaking of smoking, let's get a fucking a bird break in right now.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. I got it loaded up, ready to rock. As I'm starting to learn this microphone more and more, I know my mouth needs to be right on it. Maybe we'll just bring the bird here to us. Be our friend, bird. Let me not break this.
Let it flock over.
Hey, with the flock. What else we got? Current events. It says, I'm reading off my Flipboard, Las Vegas and the Strip have a cannabis problem. Well,
is that good or bad?
I mean, I've been on the Strip recently, and there's dispensaries on the Strip. Come on,
right.
man. It's Vegas. It's the city of vices. You're going there to get hookers, do a little cocaine,
you
fuck off.
can openly drink too, right?
You can openly drink, you can openly gamble. There's fucking people flicking cards at you with the hookers info on there. Why they're going to start tripping about weed is a shame and a joke. And I'll tell you why they would trip in the casino, because the casinos are like federally mandated and regulated. But there's still dispensaries in these fucking casinos. If you walk up and down the Strip, there are dispensaries everywhere. There's little hole-in-the-wall mom and pop ones. Cookies has one on Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard, right on the corner. They're all over. So to read anything,
what is it though? Like you can't smoke on the Strip anymore, or
I don't know. Let's read into it. Let's see what this little sucker says here.
Kind of pertains to us.
Yeah, let's crack this bad baby on. Let's see. It says, yes, Las Vegas has a legal recreational cannabis consumption, but that's not the only law involved, and that's where it gets confusing. Understood. Really starting to heat those lemon terps up. Tastes so good. The Bird. The Bird is an induction-based heating unit. The guys are based down in Texas. Shout out to them. basically just taking the torch right out of the whole program.
So what is the metal rod in there?
I believe it's a titanium rod that is reacting with the copper coil that's right here in of this. We'll get a shot of it and try to edit it into this episode, you know? Doesn't get hot. The only part or component of this that is getting hot is that little rod inside of the banger versus heating the banger up traditionally with a torch and getting the whole thing fucking scalding hot and then getting to temp right around 500 degrees. This is just...
It's fascinating how it's just the rod that's reacting and getting warm.
Yeah, it's just that metal. You know, I'm not a fan of my consumable products making contact with alloy components, so that being encased in glass is a mandatory part of this experience. There's still some in here. You know, this is always, any unit from Indux has always kind of taken a little dab and turned it into a fucking sesh. That's the magic of his hardware that he designs. Is, you know, it's the art of a low temp dab really encapsulated in one unit and no torch needed.
Was the briefcase model more so kind of meant to be like a hookah concept?
A portable dab unit concept, yeah. You're getting the whole of that dab. You're not really leaving a lot behind, so to speak. I mean, you can just see residually. There's not much left in there. Wipe off the carb cap and let that soak for a minute. We'll come back to it. We'll set Raul up with the dab for sure. So let's see. Let's read into this. If bars didn't exist, but liquor stores were plentiful and open container laws were widely enforced because consuming alcohol was only legal in private residences, you can see that the conundrum this causes. A tourist in a city could buy liquor, but the only place they could consume it would be a private home, something they don't have access to. So instead, they would be drinking clandestinely in alleys, parking lots, and their hotel rooms. I get their angle. And I'm not going to read too much more, right? But I see where they're going with it. It's like, I still don't think that applies to Vegas, though. Vegas is a place where you can openly drink and walk around. You should be able to openly smoke and walk around.
Right.
You shouldn't have to be confined to some private club or private area where you're forced to sit inside, consume somebody else's midsy fucking smoke of whatever they're consuming, right? I think it's fair to let people kind of roam and just, as they naturally would, they're going to smoke and walk around. You know, and some hotels are, you know, maybe they should just be adult, 21 and over.
Adult hotels, yeah.
And there's no kids there, you know, and then you can make the choice as an adult whether you want to partake or be around that kind of smoke. But it's hard. I mean, you know, weed smoke just fucking takes up the whole room wherever it's at.
But it's kind of like when you walk into a casino and all you can fucking taste is cigarette smoke.
Yeah,
it's
no one wants to fucking lick an ashtray.
Yeah,
you know?
that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, and I smoked cigarettes for years, and I haven't for a long time, but they're gross. You know, they're gross. They smell gross. They taste gross, and there's nothing good about them. They don't do anything positive for you. I don't think physically, financially, socially. I think smoking cigarettes is cute.
Definitely not physically.
Yeah, your fucking lungs look like an old lawyer's black leather shoe at like fucking 4 years in of smoking.
And so your teeth are not too far behind it.
Yeah, and your teeth, old Austin Powers teeth, dope fiend smokers teeth. We see your teeth. We don't care about your teeth. People do care about your teeth. You know, that's why I went and got my teeth done. I'm like, fuck, how am I in a position where I'm selling something or representing my brand or my company, and, you know, we say that we do well for ourselves, but we're not taking care of ourselves very well.
Right.
Right. And so that wasn't making much sense to me long term. Just being in people's face and they're like, Is that a gold chain I see on? Why are you spending it on your teeth, motherfucker? Your teeth look like they're fucking wiggly. You know?
They're fighting.
They're wiggling. So yeah, I went down to Colombia and had the teeth adventure. You were with me.
Yeah. How was that experience compared to just going to the fucking dentist and getting the cleaning?
Well, let's talk about it. I mean, I started at the dentist. We went to the dentist here in town is really where it started when I knew I was gonna start climbing this mountain of extractions and implants. You know, the whole dental procedure shit. It wasn't something that I was looking forward to. I was fucking scared of that. So I went to the dentist here. I took some x-rays. A lady came in, sat down. I've never seen this lady before. She's like, hey, can I keep it real with you? I'm like, yeah, please do. God damn, please just don't lie to me at this point. You're the doctor. And she said, yeah, you know, we should just take out all your teeth. I said, well, what do you mean all of them? I could still eat corn nuts and shit. She looked at some of these motherfuckers still got to work. They still got to be good. Like, yeah, shout out to everybody that can still eat corn nuts just on demand whenever you want to. Like, you ain't got to maneuver them, position them around in your mouth so they hit certain teeth and shit. You could just eat them at will. Shout out to you, keeping good care of your fucking sandwich biters. But yeah, so she tells me that she wants to take all the teeth out, and I went and got a second opinion, to say the least. I went to L.A., went to another oral surgeon, and they said, look, you know, the quality, and I was showing them like Ben Baller's teeth and just other celebrities who I thought had nice veneers and nice dental work done. And they're like, man, we got to take teeth out, put teeth in. You want that quality, you know, of work and final product, you're looking at $150,000, $160,000. And I'm just like, what? I'll buy a house first, please, and thank you, you son of a bitch. You know. And I really started digging. It's like, you know, the phone's always listening to you, so I started getting these dental ads started popping up, and I started, I guess, paying attention more to who did the best dental work in the game. And I had been watching for years, really, different surgeons and doctors in New York and in LA, and Dr. Mario Montoya, the $1 Billion Smile. Really just became more and more attractive to me as far as pricing, destination, get to go on a little fucking wild adventure, baby, and go see what's what, you know. It's important to remember that fucking the same experience you think you deserve or you're going to get here in the United States, you're not going to get in South America, specifically Cali, Colombia, where I went. I know fucking, you know, traditionally when you get your teeth cleaned, let's say, they like to numb you up a bit before they start poking around in there and scraping and shit. And shout out to the dental hygienist in Colombia. They didn't do a motherfucking thing about numbing anything. They just fucking shot my shit clean. It was incredibly painful, and I just knew that they weren't fucking around right from the very beginning. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a terrible adventure. But yeah.
They didn't even ask if you wanted a shot?
They certainly did. And they didn't, and if they did, it was in a different language, and I didn't understand what the fuck they were saying anyway.
Yep.
No, but I would have took it. And shit, throughout the 4 trips, you know, I did over 40 shots in my mouth. I mean, it was wild, but they never offered me one on the initial fucking sit down, let's get your teeth cleaned so we could take that x-ray to see how much tooth is actually left in your jaw, to see where you're at, how much bone loss and all that shit. No, they didn't numb up a motherfucking thing.
Yeah, maybe I could just tell.
Yeah, but it's crazy. So I find them on Instagram. They have you fucking send a DM. You take some pictures on the inside of your mouth with your phone. They kind of evaluate, you know, where you're at and what you're looking for. And then they say, yeah, man, it's going to cost you this much. Or come on down. We fucking think it's going to cost you X amount. You know, I'm going to clean this up, and we're going to take a quick smoke break. Do me a favor and go take that fucking chime off the goddamn wall before I lose my mind. Yeah. Smoke break. Boom. South America, Colombia, man, let me tell you. If you're going to get any kind of dental work done, they treat you like gold for the most part. Buck up on whatever language they speak wherever you're going. So if it's in Turkey, learn some pleasantries in the Turkish language. At least learn how to like move around, order some food, say thank you, yes and no. May I have all of those type of fucking things. Those are the basics, right? Excuse me. But yeah, man, let's go have an adventure. So I contacted homie, made me take the pictures. He quoted me. I booked the tickets, and we went down. And I took Raul with me the first time to go down there. I ended up going 4 separate times, 4 separate trips in so many months. But yeah, we went down, and the reason why I took Raul is because you speak Spanish well.
Speak Spanish to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, like
there's still a barrier.
It's still a barrier because they speak a different kind of Spanish, and they're a little wild down there, right? Shout out to the homies in Cali, Colombia. But yeah, so we went down, got us a cool hotel at the Holiday Inn. No, I'm sorry, at the Hilton Garden Inn. Just trying to stay on brand in my network. Yeah. Something familiar. And we went down there and fuck, man, we had a blast. We went, we drank in excess because there wasn't a lot to do.
I think it was the altitude too that helped us a little bit.
We were just smashing Johnny Walker like it was water.
Tasted like water.
Jesus, we had to check several times to make sure that was real alcohol because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't usually drink like that. I definitely don't smash bottles on the regular. And, we were sharing a bottle at first, and then that just went down like nothing. They make it all nice with the orange slice, and they make it sweet and cute little presentation with the Sprite and that thing. And then you start smashing them, and fuck, before you know it, you're goddamn bottle deep, baby.
End up passing out in a fucking random car driving in Cali, Colombia during on the tour.
I didn't do that.
I did.
Where I was in Colombia, passing out, random fucking trucks with people he don't know in sketchy situations. I smelled gasoline the whole fucking time. How could you sleep? You about to be in flames, motherfucker.
Just happened.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Colombia was a fucking adventure. So first time we went down there, they took out all the bad teeth, and for days they were going in on that mouth of mine. This mouth of mine. They took out all the teeth. They drilled holes and sutured, I believe, some type of hardware implant. Mm-hmm. Like I was a fucking alien abductee. Yeah, that's how I felt.
You feel it?
You can feel that they're doing something in your mouth. You definitely can hear it, but can you feel pain? I think is where you're trying to get to with the question. No, I didn't feel any pain. I was numb as fucking a high schooler's first face off the first line of cocaine, baby. Well, now, now, kids, don't do it. But back when
did you feel the drill going in and turning in your mouth?
Yes. They put a fucking blue napkin over your face with a little hole basically for your mouth that you can see through the crack, right? And then I could see needles and drills, and it looked like a horror movie. It looked like Saw going on out there. But I knew I was getting that good work done.
Yeah.
I needed this shit out. And so when I got done, I came out and I was like, hello. And I was missing teeth. I looked like fucking just got out of a car accident and shit. Like, go through your trash at nighttime. I don't, but I could. And so, yeah, it was a whole ordeal that first round. And what they do is they cut you open, they drill you, they pull all that bad shit out, they drill your holes, they put the implants in. They tell you fucking, hey man, don't smoke cigarettes. You can get a dry socket potentially, but yeah, we'll see you in a couple months. And they send you home so your mouth heals, and then you go back. And during that trip home, they give you some prosthetics, some prosthesis for your mouth, some fake teeth. I got the top and bottom treatment, but I only wore, I believe, the top, so I wasn't missing a front tooth, looking like a fucking inbred fucking cousin hillbilly
from Alabama.
Yeah, from Washington. Yeah,
pretty close to Idaho.
I didn't want to look like that.
Yeah.
So I got the fake tooth implant thing. I wore that for months. And it was very uncomfortable.
What was it like eating?
It was a sham. It was terrible. If I
No
took the
corn
tooth
nuts?
out, hey man, it was corn nutless. Yeah,
Had to blend it. Had to throw it in the blender.
Yeah, I was drinking corn nuts at that point. But yeah, no more hard foods. Eating was tough. You know, I was only working with fucking maybe 8 teeth at that point. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, and so let my mouth heal up. I headed back down, and then they installed the hardware, the implants, and what a trip, right? It was like this little 3-piece screw set that was a male on each side, right? And one side went into the implant into my jaw. First, they lay you down and they numb you up, and then they scrape all the flesh and meat that has grown over the implants where they're going to put things, right? So they got to find those holes. They got to find the hole. So they find the hole, and they numb you up that time. They use a scalpel, and they scrape the meat away. It was like some science experiment type shit. It's terrible now that I think about it. Fuck. And then, so they put together this little 3-piece screw, basically in front of you, and one side goes into a 1-foot-long wrench. Okay, it's more of a ratchet, but instead of being a traditional ratchet, it is just straight. It doesn't have a bend. It doesn't have a thing where you could put a socket on there, right? What there is a little hole, I guess, is the socket at the end. And that little screw goes in there, and they tell you to open your mouth wide, and the other part goes in the hole, okay? And she grabs it by the one hand, holds it in place, and at the very end of it, she starts turning this knob. Clack, clack, crack, 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 crack. And you can feel it getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and then it just goes snap. You could hear it, you could feel it. You can't feel pain, but you could.
Right.
Screwing fucking hardware into your jaw, and then that one's in place, and that is the post that they fucking put the fake teeth on.
They had to do that individually, each tooth?
Yes, and so there was 10 of those. There was 10 implants. There was 8 of those implants because there was 10. One tooth section in the front here is a bridge, so there's multiple teeth together, but all the other ones were individual implants. And so yeah, she went around and she screwed me in, got me tight, baby, ratcheted me up, and that was part of the adventure. Sent me back to the hotel, and then I came back 2 days later. They had the teeth made for me, and that was awesome. You know, I got the teeth installed. I had a hell of a trip. And I left, and I came back home, and I broke a tooth and cracked it within days of being home. So I had to go back down there again, and have them take off the fucking bridge section, install a new bridge, all for free, except for I had to pay for the trip in the hotel. And yeah, they gave me a new set and said, "Look, we made these a little different for you. They're incredibly strong. You should be able to chew the asshole of a rhinoceros, for lack of a better term."
Some leather, huh?
Hit that. Yeah. Hit that shit, bud. Oh, she's a crushing souls. Oh, that's a little Banana Boss Raw from Mega Raw Melts, located in Maine. Shout out to the homie over at Mega Raw Melts. Appreciate you, brother. Product is amazing.
Say banana.
Banana for Fana. Fee-fi for Fana. Oh, you're not done. You want to come give it a little bird, a little action? Is that what you need?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, baby. You in? Yeah. So the bird has a series of coils that react with the titanium insert in the banger. And so at very low temperatures, it's able to produce a very thick, viscous vapor, and the flavors are second to none. The torch is basically out of the equation at this point.
What temperature do you think
Hit
that
it.
was at?
Oh, we can get a fucking Temp Tech in here. Shout out to the good people over at Temp Tech. Yeah, man. Get a temp tech in here for sure. Looks like it's working. Looks like it's the right temperature. Reheat. Oh. So what he's doing right now is he's reheating the oil for the third time. This was a 0.2 or 3 gram size dab in a long style banger. It's pretty narrow because there's a certain circumference hole that the banger has to fit into for this whole operation to work. And it is just absolutely crushing. I mean, blowing huge white thick clouds, very low temp. You can hear him dying. Yeah. Shout out to the bird, man. The bird's dope. Bird's super dope. Flavorful. The color of the oil isn't dark. It's not charred. It's not black. It's still liquid. It's gold. You get a reheat in there. Yeah, there's some more action for sure. The option to be able to take one dab and just stretch it out for 5 or 6 crushers in a row is really what the fucking...
Talk about getting the whole dab.
I mean, that's the real differentiator between this and any other fucking vaporizer or... it's not even a vaporizer. It's an induction heater, man. You know, it's really hard to even kind of categorize what this really is. You know, but what it is fire. It's dope. It really is dope. Ooh. And Raul continues on his 5th or 6th reheat now, just continuing to blow a fucking cloud. Crusher after crusher. Yeah, but
they're all tasty.
Tasty. Not overheating the oil. You still got another one in there. Not overheating the oil, not fucking it up. There's no whoosh of a torch. There's no butane. And the unit is roughly $1,500 retail. And, man, think about all the money you could be saving on torches, butane, fucking bullshit that you don't need. Here you go. All you need is a little ISO bath, some Q-tips, this special banger for sure, and the rig. We're smoking today out of a Mothership I'm gonna fuck this up. SGK. Damn it. Shout out to Scott, his team over at Mothership. Beautiful rig. This is one of the the last cast units from the last cast drop. Just magnificent. And effortless fucking pull on it. It just rages. Shout out to good folks over at Mothership. Shout out to again, the guy over at Indux. Man, what a unit. Really easy. Once you have the little ISO bath like this just sitting over here, makes it super easy to clean.
It's definitely a lot better than the last one.
The Reflux?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's different, right?
Right, yeah,
it's the same
different
concept, but it's not as big, it's not as bulky. Its functionality and compatibility. I think its compatibility and functionality with rigs is second to none, right? Your old first edition Indux allowed you to still use the same style of component, the titanium little rod encased in glass with a rig, but instead of being able to use your rig directly, you had to hook a hose up to your rig, and you sucked that vapor through a rubber hose.
Right.
And that wasn't my bag at all. I wasn't into that. Or you could get a custom-made glass straw that sat on over top of the reflux insert, this metal
I don't think I've seen
pronged insert that the glass vial screws into. You can remove that and kind of walk around with this tube and just hit it.
Yeah.
Right? Huh. Instead of having a rig and a traditional banger set up like this, it was a rig and a hose, and which was cool and all because you still didn't have to use a torch. These units were either tabletop units or portable. The portable unit was as heavy as a Volkswagen Beetle. It was 2,000 pound unit. Just playing. But it's girthy. You had to go to the gym for 4 or 5 months before you could even buy it. He wanted you to take your shirt off, take pictures, and send it to him. Hi, Kylie. You know, and so yeah, there was a whole fucking religious program that you had to go through before you could even buy one. You had to go to Kylie's church. You had to go to the gym, and before you knew it, you were fucking indoctrinated and buff enough to use the Indux Reflux. But this right here, you know, makes it entry level. Anyone with a basic knowledge of, you know, just using a dab rig will be able to do this. And hey, man, it's even easier because you don't have a torch involved. You're not going to burn down your fucking house. You're not going to light your booth at the convention in Vegas on fire. Your kids ain't going to catch nothing on fire. You know, it's just chilling. You can ship this very easily if you're in a non-friendly state.
How do you carry it around?
I mean, with your hands.
No, right. But do you have a pelly?
You can definitely put it in a pelly. This pole right here unscrews and with an Allen wrench, and yeah, this will all fit in a pelly. Super nice, super easy. All the cords come undone from the back, and basically what you're carrying around essentially is this box.
Yeah.
Right. A couple of little components on there, but gets the job done. Super effective. I'm high as giraffe pussy right now, for lack of a better term. And yeah, so yeah, the teeth in Colombia was an adventure. Broke the tooth off, went back down there, got it replaced. Also went down there one time and brought my wife with me on an adventure. That was awesome. But yeah, Colombia, third world country.
How is that going back like the second and third time, like communicating
without my Spanish interpreter?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know enough.
Because the drivers also remember.
Well, the drivers make it super easy.
Yeah.
You're not talking to people who don't speak any English.
Yeah.
You know, they speak a little English. I speak a little Spanish, un poco, right?
Yeah.
And so enough to fucking connect and try. I think that goes a long way with whatever country you're going to.
Right.
If you just attempt to speak their language, show that you have a rudimentary understanding of what you're trying to do. You're not just some foreigner fuck face over there getting drunk trying to fuck, right? And eat all the goddamn food. Which is cool either way. You know, I ain't mad at you if that's what you're doing, but you want to have some class about yourself, a little civility. I think it's a must to have some basic understanding of the language or wherever you're going. So yeah, rudimentary Spanish will get you by down there for the most part. Don't go down there and try to open a business, get married, have a baby, you know, do your taxes or nothing like that with my shitty ass Spanish. But can you get by for a week? For sure. You know, especially if you stay at your hotel and you don't fucking do too much adventuring and get yourself out in the middle of a fucking 5 million person city and you don't speak the language where you're at. You're just a sitting duck, right? You're like a victim waiting to be fucking victimized. It wasn't my fault, but it was, motherfucker.
Yeah, it was. You knew.
Did you have nipple rings on? Were they out? Did you have a necklace on? What do they call it? Giving up the papaya. I mean, don't be holding out your phone so easy that people can just come by and take it from you. Don't wear your fancy jewelry because people don't have fancy jewelry there for the most part. And so don't make yourself a fucking target. Yeah. You know? Don't be
you already stick out.
Be a fucking puta.
Yeah.
You know, and be retarded. But shout out to the market. Shout out to Alameda de Market or Market de Alameda for just making me feel like it was my own special place every day that we went there. Tried. How'd you feel about it? Exotic fruits.
Fire. I mean, it was different food. The food that I tried was really good.
Fuck yeah.
The fruits was amazing. The fruits and vegetables was. I was taken back because
terps.
You don't see that shit here.
The terps. The terps were so different.
They were real.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of sliminess to some of those fruits, and but the terps were so fruity. I can't even do a really good explanation.
Yeah, like even the avocado, like that shit was fire.
Avocate was fucking amazing. Long neck. Skinny neck, fucking round butt avocados. I don't know how else to explain them, right? It was just like
basically
different, super soft flesh on the inside. Fucking put some salt on that. Forget about it.
With the salsa?
Salsa was amazing.
Was fire.
Well, that whole market was just a vibe, right? And every time I went back there, I went to that fucking market. And I think that maybe that's probably the hardest part. When you don't speak Spanish, when you don't speak Spanish, when you don't speak the language of wherever you're at, and you want to eat and you want to go off on your own and be like autonomous and shit, You don't know the language. It's super hard.
Right.
You can't walk around with your phone out the whole time because that's giving up papaya. So using your, Google Translate, unless you got an earbud in, and then again, having earbuds is just a big target that you got something they want to take anyway. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But if you're not a scary little bitch and you want to hop out there and have some fucking fun and live your life, you just get out there.
Yeah. Touche. Someone might help you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it took us a couple days to warm up. Our first trip to fucking get out and walk the streets and go to the mall and shit because it was fucking busy downstairs. Busy as a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a ton of shit going on. Traffic. There's little kids smoking
Little
cigarettes,
kids on
driving
bikes.
dirt bikes. Fucking. I mean, it was crazy. It was craziness. But it beautiful and enticing and exciting and the smell of diesel and fucking cigarettes and cannabis and fucking food, the empanadas on the corner with the little street vendor with the umbrella and the glass box stand.
I think the biggest thing that stood out was how more like people were just generally like joyful.
Joyful? Well, or some of them were just looked dirty and tired. Like they had already been through enough for the day. They're trying to get the fuck somewhere and relax. But for the most part, people were just happy to be around other people for sure. Yeah. Everybody looked like they were on their hustle kind of.
On their hustle, yeah. You see everybody at the stoplights.
Lots of motorcycles going everywhere. It seemed like motorcycles rule the road. I've been to Paraguay.
No traffic laws.
Right. I've been Paraguay. I mean, there's traffic laws, but
no, in Cali, everybody was just on the bikes.
But it's the same in like Paraguay, right? Where there's like 2 lanes, but they make 4, and
right.
it's fucking craziness. And if you're in a car, cool. If you're on a motorcycle, watch out. There's more people on motorcycles than anything, though, which is crazy because that red clay dirt road that they have in Paraguay that I seen is like impassable in the rain. Like you need an off-road sport utility vehicle to fucking really get around down there.
I don't know if I've seen that. Right?
Oh, dude, it rains all the time. I'll show you later. My buddy's Snapchat. Shout out to Steven down there in Paraguay. I think it's, what are they called? Next Pharma? Something for, I know I'm fucking that up. Sorry, brother. But yeah, down there, my buddy's been down there for a couple of years now, building out a facility down in Paraguay. Got an opportunity to go down there very early on when it was like they're still fucking pumping out oxy, so I couldn't even go on the property. Probably still that way now. Hopefully you got a little bit more juice now, huh, bud? You ain't fucking still cleaning the bathrooms, right? Let me know if I can come over and play. But yeah, I went down there, checked out the facility, checked out homie's fucking house and just the way they live down there, and a bunch of little folks. The people were smaller than I'm normally accustomed to seeing, right?
Yeah.
Just small size, like little folks. You go shopping down there, the clothes and shoes are for little folks. If you're a fat white dude like myself, they didn't have no fucking underwear for you. Right. You had to stitch two extra large Hanes together with some tape and fucking dental floss. Or have them taken to a tailor. If you run out of underwear down there, you're fucked. But no. Anything you import to these places seem like there's a heavy tax on. I know I sent like a case of bagwoo down there and fucking some Puffcos. Or a Puffco, and they taxed us like $400 to be able to get it because they said they knew what it was for. We're like, yeah, motherfucker, it's smoke tobacco and it's a vaporizer for e-juice. He's like, it's not for e-juice. We're like, it is. It's not to our story, right? But we got it. Paraguay, Cali, Colombia, fucking Bogota, Panama City we've been to, San Juan, Puerto Rico, all over. Some of my favorite places I've ever been on the whole earth. I think I've been all over. Been to Barcelona, been to Paris, been all over our country for damn sure. Haven't done a lot of Mexico yet because it's kind of fucking sketchy, it seems.
Yeah, not much to do out there. But get good food and get some good tequila.
And maybe get abducted. Stem cells.
Potentially.
Get some stem cells. But see, you could take us to Mexico and we'd be good.
We will.
We just stay in Tijuana. We don't.
It's the same thing we did in Colombia. Just don't be dumb.
Mind your own fucking business. Yeah. I think that's important. Don't go down there and try to go buy a kilo of fentanyl and bring it back. Yeah, that could end bad for you.
Don't act like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really it.
You goddamn right. Don't go be a Mormon missionary and go to Mexico
Let's go.
and think that
As
they're going to
missionaries.
honor your same traditions that you have in Utah. It's just not going to play it the same way, man.
Let's go.
You know, let's go.
Yeah.
Taco tour. That would
Yeah.
be great content for the show.
Taco and tequilas.
Oh, taco and tequila. So he throws tequila in there so lightly and easily, not thinking how much of a consequence that could have. In Mexico, you get all fucked up on tequila and tacos.
Oh, not on a like tequila tour.
They're just plotting.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, these two dudes are like they're passing out first. Watch them.
Yeah,
They
dude.
got, see what they got.
We wouldn't.
I seen you fall asleep in a strange car in fucking Cali, Colombia. You're liable to fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah, it was only for 2 minutes.
Let's see. We're getting into the summer 2023. We're gonna call it the summer of the Omega. Starting to see
It's gonna be an Omega summer.
over 20, almost 30 brands now utilizing the gear, and that's just for branded gear.
Yeah, just a branded gear.
There's a
Not
lot
talking about the sticker brands.
Yeah, man. It's good gear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long road coming from Omegas to, Quasars to Sirius, now Omega. Working on some new amazing adaptations of the Omega internals to maybe a new skewer. So I'm not allowed to talk about everything, but it's been an adventure, man, and this progressional ride, a roller coaster that we're on. So fucking educational and so entertaining at the same time. I'm in love with the fact that I get to learn, and we get to learn so much. I think every day we learn a little bit more about shit. Now we're doing podcasting, the engineering, but all of the opportunity that this brings with it, to just self-educate.
Yeah,
right?
because it's not just for us. It's everybody who supports the brand.
Well, it's not for us,
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
This happens by proxy,
Right.
in our pursuit to try to make these dope for brands and for people.
Yeah, and people want
all
some
this
sort
other
of
shit
insight.
happens,
Yeah.
because you sell shit to people, and God forbid it doesn't work right. You're responsible. It's like, hey, y'all know we don't live in Shenzhen, right? Like, we're based here in Spokane,
Right.
Washington, but we still take the utmost responsibility with our craft and what we do. And we're really just conceptual artists at this point. We come up with ideas, come up with concepts with the components that we kind of help develop and refine, and try to make the best products we can, see what the best fit is.
Yeah.
And try to improve upon what's already available is big for us. But I think as we move into fall of 2023 and 2024, our innovation side is really going to be shining. And it is now. Having gear that's readily available to the market that anyone can get versus something that's super exclusive that you
Right.
can only get from one place, is what you'll see more, from us in regards to what we're going to be doing in the future. But this the whole mission, not even Kung Fu Vapes, but just the progressional space of the vaporizer industry. I was one of maybe 2 companies a couple of years ago that even had access to what we're calling HCBs, horizontal ceramic buckets. And when I showed that to people and I said, this is the future of these disposables right here, is this kind of heating up. No alloy, no motherfucking cotton wicking, like no extra flavors, super controllable, almost programmable. It was not received well, I'll tell you that much. People laughed at me.
Why is that though? Just because
Well,
people are scared to change?
The price point, and then you have something like a C-Cell style 510 cartridge that's just so heavily ingrained in the modern industry, right? And so it is just part of the dispensary space. It's part of a brand's image, is their vaporizer offerings for the most part. Grow flower, you get that flower turned into oil, then you have excess oil. You're looking for every mechanism in play possible for your brand to be able to make some money, be profitable.
Right.
And for you to fucking do that, you're gonna have to move those consumable products, because you're a consumable brand. So you grow weed and you have that weed turned into oil, and then you have a bunch of oil sitting around. Every way possible to sell that oil is what your plan is. And so if it's just a fucking amazing and you got the best traction on earth and it's just selling itself in its natural state, diamonds and sauce, if that's what you make, rosin, if that's what you make, melt, whatever your stick is, your niche, then cool, man. You really done an awesome job, and I'd say maybe even a little lucky, right? And then there's everybody else. There's everybody else that's still in the game that has to stay up with the Joneses and the ones. So, you go to a dispensary, there has to be a vaporizer offering, an edible offering, a smokable flower offering, a pre-roll offering,
right.
Fuck diamonds and sauce, a rosin, you name it. The more SKUs you have for your brand, the better, man. The more opportunity you have to make a sale, to get something in a client's hand who's going to go out into the world and tell a good story about your amazing product, right? That's all of our goals, I think, as brand owners. Is just like, hey, whatever I got to do to get these things sold, that's the goal here. And the more of whatever I can do to keep them selling is what I'm going to do. It's like, it's easy to zero in and find out what works, because once you start getting those sales in, you're like, oh, this is what the people want. Y'all want vapes? Okay, baby. But again, I think I'll touch on it in every episode. The average everyday consumer, which I definitely was and still can be at any given time, is dictating what they're consuming by how much they have to spend. Yeah. Their budget is what dictates what gets consumed. And so if they got all the money in the world, you're like, yeah, I can go in the restaurant, order whatever I want, motherfucker. I take the Wagyu, A5, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking make sure my wine glass has A5 Wagyu on the rim.
Some blood on
it. I taste it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're broke as a fuck and you only got $40 for the week, maybe, to get your high on, you're going to go try to, hey, man, what is the biggest bag of weed I could get for this $40? Or maybe it's oil. What is the cheapest shatter, diamonds, distillate I can get for this $40 so I can make it stretch? Because either way, you're still going to get high. It just, are you going to taste the terps? Are you going to be able to fucking do your little fucking Instagram posts and all your little things that you do with the good shit?
Yeah.
Or are you just sitting back in your fucking one-room shack with a mink on your back, smoking fucking shit that's whack? Yeah, with a mink on your back. It's just, maybe you're saving your money and you don't got a lot of money to spend. Maybe you're not falling into the hype train and you're like, fuck everybody in their hash rosin. But that damn papaya sounds so good. It's like you can't get to. That's just the age-old argument in so many things. It's like, how does somebody tell you what's good? You got to look at that person and be like, do you really know or have access to shit that is that good? That you could tell me what's good. Right. That's like the bud tender thing. It's like, how do you give the lowest paying job in the whole chain of consumption to the person who has some of the most biggest responsibility, who's supposed to lead and educate the fucking consumer who's going to buy your shit? I mean, the bud tender is a rep of your brand. Whether or not motherfuckers realize that, brands realize that or not, like the bud tender works for you. They work for you, bro. They represent your shit. Did you educate them? Did you entice them? Maybe you try to hook them up legally with the sample. Maybe legally. Who gives a fuck? Make sure the motherfuckers got something. They're hype on your shit. They're talking about it. They're showing people. There's a whole wall, plethora of shit to sell people.
Right.
Why does your shit stand out? Because you did the fucking pink sticker? You think the pink sticker made a difference? Fuck your pink sticker. No, it's not. It's did you do a marketing campaign that really stuck and got traction, or did you go and do the fucking educational program on the people who are going to lead your recreational buyer to your product? Because if no one gives a fuck about, if the bud tender is education or has an education on your brand and your product, the bud tender doesn't give a fuck neither if they know about it. Right. That's a new product. It just came on the shelf. Yeah. But check these guys out because their buddy works there, their mom works there. They got some free shit at a party.
Free shit always helps.
Yeah, it does. And shout out to the bud tenders who have romantic relationships with brand owners. And
happens a lot over here.
Yeah, but there's always an angle, right? And so if you're not trying to fucking get in where you fit in to make your shit pop and stand out, you can have the best thing on earth, but if no one even knows it exists, you've done yourself a disservice, a disjustice, right? You gotta you got to try. You know I fucking used to go into dispensaries and just give away a bunch of free product. I mean, I'd go into dispensaries right now and give away free product if I think it would cause a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and
do you think brand owners don't do that because they know their shit is just like everybody else's on the shelf?
Well, Washington State, I just think that there's a legal way to give out samples, and so they have to go through the red tape of that. I don't know. I don't.
That comes down to having a relationship with people that sell your shit, you know?
Again, the relationships are what close the deals and get the job done at the end of the day. It's not your pretty packaging. All of those things will get the eye
That'll help.
to be paying attention to your shit more. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, do you have those $3 pre-rolls?
Yeah. Can you get people excited about it kind of thing is like the biggest thing I feel.
I just think the store has an agenda for the most part. And if you fall into that agenda, then your shit plays. And if not, you know, especially in Washington State, man, the dispensaries make the money. It's a 3 times markup scenario, right? The dispensary fucking makes the money. No one sets the prices for the dispensaries. They set their own prices. So, you know, if the brand sells their best fire at a really cheap price because they're hurting for the month, the dispensary's not going to fucking go, hey, you know what? This is $80 a gram hash rosin. We just got it for a steal. They're going to devalue the fuck out of your shit. Yeah. You know, they're going to be like, no, this is $40 a gram hash rosin. We just got it for $12 motherfucking dollars or whatever the 3 times markup is. And the store seems like they make the money, but I don't know. It's just it's a weird scheme, man. I don't think the people who grow the flower don't make no money.
They don't make shit.
The producer processors don't make no money. The store makes the money.
Yeah.
Shout out to the ballin' ass store owners in Washington State. Hey, baby, we see you. You know, throw some more events and some shit. Stop being so fucking greedy.
Or some shit.
Yeah, throw an event. Throw a fucking High Times Cannabis Cup or something out here.
Or
God
something.
damn. John, it's not legal. It's not legal. The LCB would be up your ass like a tight G-string, bitch. It's like fucking private land. There's ways around shit. Do something cool. Maybe they are doing cool shit. And they just don't invite me because I'm an asshole.
Maybe there's a clan somewhere out there that just.
Is there a cool weed? Is there a cool Canna clan in Washington State? Shout out to us in the DMs, please, man. Shoot us a message. We want to come check your clan out.
A Canna clan.
Your Canna clan, right? But yeah, I don't know. I've been to other states, seen other things.
Yeah,
And,
Washington's
different. It's a little different. Shout out to the Bird and Mothership again. This is making this episode epic. Time is just fucking flying by. We have learned recently that the Canon only films for 30 minutes, 29 minutes straight, and then it shuts itself off. We've also learned that the GoPro can film for 15 hours, but it has a really wide angle of shot and not a lot you can do to zoom in. So shout out to the editor for making this mascara look amazing. Appreciate you, baby. Shout out to Pakistan. Yeah, you know. Let's see. Coming up, you know, I was also thinking 2023. Are events and conventions getting watered down? How do you feel about that? You've been to a couple. We've taken you out of the house and let you roam. Taking you some places. You've seen some things. We just came back from the National Cannabis Festival in Washington, D.C. We did 422 out there, but we were there from 419 to 423. What was your take on that? Was it a blast?
I mean, it was fun, but the event itself wasn't what I expected.
Well, it's because it got rained out.
Yeah, because it got rained out. And I think it being a one-day event just kind of was too much. Maybe a 2-day event.
The one-day cannabis event that some of us brands travel across the country to go be a part of, or the you know, it's like that one. You got one day to ball out.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you are or what you got. Okay, you better be a big dick swinger in the game. To travel somewhere and invest $5,000 to $10,000 on a one-day event is a very risky gamble at this point, in my opinion. A couple of years ago, sure, it was almost guaranteed, especially if you went out east. Yeah. You know, pull that mic up to your mouth a little bit. Up. There you go. going out east and going to events used to be a no-brainer, or for sure sellout. But no, there's so much access, and there's so many states that are rec and medical that have their own products. Shout out to Maine, shout out to New York. You know, it's everywhere, and so the exclusivity's really not there as much, and you got to really make a standout product to sell out and ball out like that. So maybe we learned a valuable lesson, and I know I'll never forget it, is that whatever events that we do moving forward really have to be a multi-day event, I think, and has to be something that we can almost guarantee ourselves a W in, right? No more L's. And L's could be the time and money spent not equating to the sales recouped, right? And so you never really make your money back. All the things become a loss after a while, and you're really just going to take dabs and hang out with your friends. Let's just tell the truth, right? Which is cool, man. No one has a problem against that. But if you're trying to run a profitable business and make the books look good, you have to be strategic at this point. Doesn't matter how dope your brand is. Maybe you're just a filler smoke shop brand and your niche is going to Champs every Champs because some dumbass smoke shop owner out there has never seen your fucking silicone fucking torch holder or whatever you sell. Shout out to the silicone torch people or holder people. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't sell some goofy filler, you don't really, and your shit's just not hot. You don't have traction at all. Going to these shows is a waste. Someone's going to copy your shit. No one's even going to see your shit. You're going to spend so much time, effort, and energy trying to fucking, manifest a W at your booth. Something spectacular has to happen. You got to have a social media presence. I'd say if you don't have 5,000-10,000 followers, don't even try it.
Yeah.
Right? You got to have a cult fucking following for this shit to really take off and have effect for you. And take it from someone who's been doing events for fucking 10 years. Some of our events have been crazy. I walked away with 50, 60, 90,000 in sales sometimes, cash. And some of those events I didn't break even on. And I just spent more money on dinner and kicking it with the homies than I ever could make back, right? Those are lessons I've learned. These are conversations I've had with my wife where she's like, well, at least you had fun. And I'm like, fuck, that was not the point. I mean, the point is to have a good time, for sure. But I'm not going to I can have fun at home for way cheaper, And so, shout out to all the fucking thousands and thousands of brands that are just traveling this summer. Convention after convention, Champs after Champs. Shout out to the good people at Champs, always holding it down, fucking getting bigger and bigger. Love you guys. Shout out to Jeff. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, shout out to the fucking people who are diehard nomadic fucking traveling salesmen that I see them at every show. I've seen them for years. I've tried to go to other shows, packaging shows, candy shows, confectionery shows. There's a hell of a lot of shows. If you want to get up on what's next or new in the space, you want to find a new brand to follow, that's where you're going to find them at these conventions. If you want to have access and put hands on tangible, you want to get in tangible scenarios where you can touch things and try things, conventions are the way to go. I don't want to say I'm getting burnt out, but I think maybe I'm becoming sharper and more strategic with where I want to spend my money, how I want to spend my money and my time. I'm really learning that I think the combination of the convention or event mixed with a lot of marketing and content on social media can equate to a big hit for somebody, for sure. But if you don't have the content, I'm starting to learn. If you don't have the content, you don't really have that traction. You got to be visible. People want to see you. Yeah. They want to smell you. You are, for sure. And that's why I kind of just got off into this podcast thing, I think, to begin with. Right? Is we need more traction, more visibility for what we have going on and what we offer the space. And so people didn't think that we were some catalog brand, that was just an email and a 1-800 number that you couldn't access, domestically, like we're Chinese or some shit. Yeah. Shout out to my Chinese brothers and my sisters over in Shenzhen. Our partners are powerful and they make all this shit happen for us on the manufacturing side. But in reality, if we are not out here doing the good work as a brand owner and getting that traction and putting out good products, and helping, I think, push the space forward education wise, then you're doing a disservice to this shit. You're just a filler product in the smoke shop. You're another silicone ashtray, man. And shout out to the silicone ashtray. I want to sound like a fucking diabolical hater or nothing, you know. It just is just my my release of what I've learned over the last years, right? It's just like, make it worth it, because it's costing a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? This shit ain't cheap. Yeah, note to myself, I'll play this back and fucking give myself a warm hug. I will.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth it. Or now moving forward, especially with the content making and everything, putting the value out there for anybody who supports the brand, really, because they get to know that, like you said, we're not just fucking random people on the internet. That
we're not just over here dicking around.
Right.
This is our art, and we study this shit and we practice every day. Not just, I mean, obviously podcasting is new to us, but the art of vaporizer, disposable, pod. That's what we speak. That's what we do.
Yeah, and people notice that, and you know, you get feedback where people appreciate the shit that we take apart. You know, even though people get mad about it, but it's the knowledge
about it, because it's like, why are you picking on me? Why'd you zero in on me? You must not like me. It's because I didn't answer your DM to buy your fucking pods, John.
No, it's because you got some consumers that are loyal to your brand, and they deserve to fucking know, because they don't know. They're not going to spend $50 and go take something apart just to take it apart.
Everybody's always yelling that their shit's the best. They should fucking be prepared for people to come find out why and how and what makes it different. And that's all I do. I'm like, oh, your shit's hot? I'm going to come check it out.
Yeah, just because the oil is good doesn't mean the software is good. Hardware, I guess the oil is the software.
The hardware, it's got to be amazing, and so does the software. I think it's very important. It's a combination of the two, man. I'm going to go for a scorcher on this one.
And it still needs reheat. That's crazy.
I mean, is it a slurper? No. Will he progress this to work with slurpers? I wouldn't see how he couldn't.
A Kung Fu collab.
You know? Funky. But yeah, conventions, events. I love a good event. I love a good convention. Shit. I think as this industry moves progressively and quickly to the east, cool shit's going to be hopping up that way. But a lot of shit just seems kind of played out.
Yeah.
Like 510 cartridges. One more. God damn, it tastes so good. It tastes so good, and I'm going to tell you why. There's no flame. It's not hot as shit. It's underneath 400 and some odd degrees. I need to get a thermometer in here. You're not heating up the whole banger. All the oil's not getting scorched. There is this mouth-watering dab happening, and you should get yourself one of these so you could be a part of it. This is the Indux Bird.
I wonder why he called it the Bird. Wonder what.
We're going to get him on the show to ask him. We get him on the fucking show to figure out why. Why is it called the Bird?
It's 422.
Episode 3. In the books.
Episode 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. This will be a fucking teaser. No, this is going to be a full episode, man. We're going to put this up. I think we had a great conversation, and that's what this podcast is going to be. It's just going to be great conversations about abstract things and
random shit sometimes.
For sure, trying to get the bigger names and the wanted brands and who people want to see on the show is a goal of ours. But you know, we're infants in this space, and getting all the kinks worked out for the show, the camera situation, and just making sure the mics are perfect, and we have some great topics to discuss, and we're smoking right, we're entertaining, and I hope all of you are getting that from this. If you hate us, I'm sorry. We're trying to fucking make this fun and great. Editing as I go as well will be more uniform from episode to episode. And what do you know, man? Episode 3 in the books. Me and Raul. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, we'll see you guys on episode 4. This is the podcast. I'm your host, John Dawson. And we'll see you on episode 4. Appreciate you.